Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Shin Gear. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Happy to be here today.
Well, I'm glad you could make it and work it into your schedule. It's good to have
Always,
you again.
Jeff.
I appreciate that.
Always with you.
With us today, we are going to talk high school Texas football, which is the greatest sport in the world.
It's a religion.
I'm telling you, it's not like anything else. You can take a town with 1,500 people, and on Friday night, there'll be 2,000 people at a football game. With us today is Coach Greeson. Coach, you are from rural Texas?
Yes, sir.
One of the smallest towns has produced more coaches than anywhere I know of. I think the whole Texas Tech family has been coaching there. You coached, and Coach Briles is from there. Tell me about how you met Coach Briles.
I think the Briles moved to rural when he was about a freshman. Came from Abilene. His dad, Dennis, was the principal at Lincoln Middle School there in Abilene and coached, and he came to rural to coach. And so Art was, if you love sports, you looked up to Art. He still got the 100-meter record there in rural. And coincidentally, I believe that he beat, Wes Kitley, the track coach at Tech.
Yeah.
His dad had the record before Art, so Art broke Bobby Kitley's record. And then Art was a quarterback on the football team, and they got beat by Big Sandy in the state finals.
One of the greatest high school teams ever, Big Sandy.
Oh, my goodness.
They had 3 guys that played in the NFL, Levy Smith, David Overstreet, and I can't remember who else the other one was.
Yeah, they're unbelievable. In fact, the one that you can't think of, which I can't think of, was the stud.
Was it?
Yeah, he was a stud. Bobby, can't think.
But Levy Smith,
Overstreet, All-American at Oklahoma.
Yep, got killed in a car wreck when he played for the Dolphins.
Yep.
Levy Smith coached the Chicago Bears. I mean, just it's a hellacious deal, and they say that's the greatest team ever. If that class.
Well, they definitely had the star power, and it was a cold night in Weatherford. I remember I was little. I had my dad's coveralls on, and we ended up getting beat, but it was a good ride. We had some good athletes on there. Wes Kitley, the coach at Tech, his older brother was a receiver on that team and defensive back. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, high school football in Texas is unlike any other place.
So where all did you coach in high school in Texas at?
I came out of ACU, graduated there, and went to work at junior high in Abilene, which I was going to mention. I think that was important for me to see how kids progress, from the 7th grade, 8th grade year. And then I finished that year, and Art got the job in Stephenville, came from Georgetown, and hired me. So I came in the summer of '88. And but to see how kids physically mature, mentally mature through the 7th and 8th grade year and then into high school, it was a learning deal for me. And then learning how to be on a high school staff was unbelievable.
Were you on the first Stephenville staff that Art had?
Yes.
And y'all took over a program that was not doing very good.
I believe they'd gone 1-9 the year before we got there.
What'd y'all do that first year?
4-5-1.
And what'd y'all do the next year?
Tied Brownwood and came back to the school after the game, and we were, they say it's like kissing your sister. We were disappointed. And the crowd there you'd have thought we'd won a state championship back at the school waiting for us.
Well, Brownwood was beating y'all like a step kid every day.
Every year. I think it had been 20 years since they had beaten Brownwood at that point.
Was Gordon Wood already retired by then? Or was he still
living in Brownwood, but had retired?
But had retired. And he's a legendary coach, got a great book, won 7 state championships.
Yeah, great teams.
Because Wichita Falls was chasing to tie him for the 7th, back before there was 27 state champions every year.
Yeah.
So what'd y'all do the second year at Brownwood? At Stephenville.
Second year, we go 9-2. I believe he got beat in the first round. And then the next year, we go to the semifinals and get beat by the state champion, Wilmer Hutchins, in Texas Stadium, the old Cowboy Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And we were down, still went 2 rounds deep the next 2 years, then won the first state championship in '93, went undefeated. And that year in the semifinals, we beat Waxahachie, who had won the state championship the year before and was 30-0 when we met him at Baylor. in '93, and I'd never, you walk out on some fields and you see their players and you say, this is different. It's just different. I think they had 3 or 4 players go end up, play for several years in the pros, but they were good. Until your kids know how to win, you don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know how good they can be.
Right.
If you do it,
Yeah.
Then it's about continuing to improve to do it again. But until you win it all, you don't know. And so we beat them. We knew we were legitimate. It was a great game. We make a 2-point conversion at the end of the game, which ran a little pick play with twins outside. We came and rubbed off and then threw the guy in the flat, which is, kind of a popular play down the goal line since you get man most of the time when you're down there. And got the 2-point conversion, ended up winning the game. And then faced Lamarck at the University of Texas for the state championship game in '93. And I thought Waxahachie was loaded, and then I saw Lamarck, and they were loaded. They had 22 D1 sign off that team.
Holy cow.
And just speed. When we got to that point at Stephenville, we weren't going to outrun anybody, but we were stronger than everybody else. So in the second half of the ball games, we began to take over, and our strength showed up, and it was a fun ride. And then you do it, and then all I could think about on the bus ride home was all the players that we were going to lose, and get ready to do it again. That's the thing about the coaching world is you don't have long to celebrate.
Right.
You're thinking about the next win. What are we going to do now? And then we ended up doing it again and went undefeated with a new quarterback, and still had a lot of the nucleus from the '93 team. Intelligent, good students, dedicated workers. That's the one thing about Stephenville is those kids were dedicated to the work and were willing to put the work in.
So, how many state championships did y'all win in Stephenville? 3 or 4?
I won 2 with them, and then they won 2 more after I had neck surgery. So I became an assistant principal at the intermediate school, and I got a call from the head coach at Abilene High, wanted me to come to Abilene and be the offensive coordinator. So I got back in. They won 2 state championships after I left.
Y'all won one at Abilene too, though, didn't y'all?
No.
Y'all get beat in the semifinals?
Well, we made the playoffs for the first time in 50 years, and then got beat by South Grand Prairie in the quarterfinals in Texas Stadium.
Was that B.J. Johnson's team? Was he on that team?
Oh my goodness, yeah.
He was a football player and a half.
Hoss.
Yeah.
Hoss.
Now, you had Sneezy Beltran at Abilene, right?
Sneezy Beltran.
Was that your tailback?
That was my tailback.
And he was he an All-American? He was All-State.
Not All-American, but Texas signed him, so
Yeah, I mean, he was a stud.
He was a pretty good back.
Did the Fly kid from Mundy, did he transfer Keithy Fly, or was he an Abilene?
I remember the Flyers, but I don't remember him.
I can't remember. I thought one of them had moved there. Robert Spells Jr. was on that team, right?
Yeah.
Now, Robert Spells Jr. has a big connection to us in Knox City. His little brothers were Andy's good friends and teammates.
Robert, Dad.
And Robert Spells Jr. was a hell of an athlete. You've told me he's one of the best athletes you ever coached.
Yeah.
Hands
down.
Played 1 year of 5A football.
Well,
Try to kill that.
he comes in his sophomore year, and we could tell he's different. I mean, he can outrun and he can catch anything.
Yeah.
And he's about 6'2". It is his length and speed is what made him good. So he gets on the track team at the regional meet, and they run a 3:11, which was the best mile relay in the country at that time.
Yeah, that's booking it.
And probably would have ranked in the world. But also on that team was Johnson kid. He ends up going to Tech.
Robert Johnson.
No.
Wasn't Robert?
Marcus's little brother. Jonathan Johnson.
Jonathan, yep.
You need to look him up. Little bitty kid. Great kid. He ends up going to the Greece Olympics as United States' best half miler.
Wow.
So Abilene High had Robert Spells Jr. and then had that. He's going to run about a 45 split on his anchor leg. And just barely beat out South Grand Prairie in the finals at the regional meet in Lubbock. So there were some athletes. The thing is, at Abilene, they didn't know how to win.
Robert Spells Jr. almost killed me in a slow pitch softball game.
Really?
Yeah, so I was on second base and guy hit it into the outfield. Robert was playing center field. The guy hit it to the fence. Well, I'm going to go score. And I round third base and I'm coming in to score and I just happened to peek. And he threw that ball from the fence in center field on a rope.
This is junior?
Yeah, Robert Spells Jr. He threw it on a rope from center field, the fence, to the catcher, and I just happened to see the ball coming, and I ducked, or it would have clocked me right in the temple. But it was a rope.
He would have taken out. His dad was that good a softball player, too.
Really?
Yeah.
His dad always called our Little League games. So I always
athlete.
I always liked Robert behind there.
Great athlete.
Who's the best athlete you ever played with? Quentin.
Quentin.
His brother,
Yeah, his
little
brother.
brother Quentin Spells. He was a stud athlete.
Have
too.
you seen, so we talked about this on a couple podcasts ago. Have you seen the 400 meter times from Division II Class A? Strawn and Jayton. This is at regional. 46.
Wow.
So this kid from Jayton has been a stud all year. 47.
That 47 has got to be a state record.
You figure 47, you're going to win.
Yeah.
And then he gets
You got a 46.
A 46 beat him.
I'll tell you where the times they might. When I ran down at the state meet my sophomore and junior year, and you talk about slow. I was the black sheep, and we had the youngest Kitley on the anchor who could go about 47 flat split for Class A is pretty good.
Yeah.
And Rule at that time, and this would have been in 80. Rule still had the record from 74 at 322.2 in a 1,600 meter relay, which would have been Art, Rob Kitley, Wes Kitley, and I don't remember who the fourth one was. But there's a little town called Snook that's there. And it's just outside of Bryan, Texas.
Somebody famous played ball that's from there, and I can't think of who it is.
Well, they had the fastest quarter miler in the world at one point. Leslie Curry ran for Texas A&M. Had his two brothers, I believe Larry and Jerry. I think they were twins, and they go 3:18.
That's booking it.
And pictures that I've seen, I can remember as I was running it. They were out of sight. They were around the track, but they almost beat the second place team by 100 meters.
Really?
Which even in Class A, which happens some, but that's in the 2 mile or mile, but not in a 1,600 relay.
Well, what's so impressive about this is this is small 6-man. This is as small as it gets in the state of Texas, and a 46 and a 47 in the same region.
Those are now 6A times.
Yeah. Well, we compared it to a lot of schools in Dallas and everything, and they're in the high 40s, low 50s. So I mean, that's as good as it gets almost in the state of Texas.
Did you see the kid from
Small
Winsboro?
6-man.
From Winsboro?
Yeah, that kid. They've got a white boy that's going to Mississippi State, and go to the Texas State play or the track meet.
Let me try to. I'll have to take it over here. I'll never forget. So I ran in school. Coach Hutch put me on the man maker. So I got to do the 400 and the mile relay. As quarterback, I want you to do. These are tough races. You got to have some grit and some mental fortitude. So he's like, as my quarterback, I want you to do the 400, and you're going to do the anchor leg of the mile relay. And I'll never forget. I'm a sophomore in varsity track, and guy goes in front of me, and he's past the curve by the time I get the baton. Well, I'm going to be the hero. I take that baton, and I catch him at the 200 meter. And I get to about halfway of that curve, about 250 meters, and the monkey jumped on my back.
Hell, monkey.
And he jumped on my back, and that last 100 meters, he just strolled on past me. But I didn't know how to run. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was my first varsity race.
What was it your son said?
Yeah, so I was telling my son the story. I was like, yeah, monkey jumped on my back about 300 meters in. Monkey jumped on my back. And this was 3-4 years ago, so he was probably 7 or 8 at the time. He was like, where'd they have monkeys out here?
You'll learn about the monkey.
You'll learn about the monkey.
You'll learn about the monkey.
But he did. I'll never forget it. The crowd's cheering, and I'm going to be the hero, and there ain't nothing left. Ain't nothing left at the gas tank.
That's another thing about track in this area, and I don't know how it is other places, but when I was in school, there were only just a few towns that had tracks.
Yeah.
And so everybody saw everybody at the same track meet.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so we were decent with some good people on it, not me, but we were running against the Hamlins and the Haskells and the Rotans.
Yeah.
And all great track schools. So it was, of course, now everybody's got tracks. So, it kind of splits that up.
Right. You mentioned something earlier, and I was talking to a guy from a small town in our area, not going to say where, but he's on school board there, and he's like, it is impossible to find a coach because we've been losing so much. He's like, we don't have that winning culture here, and it's hard to get a coach to come to a small town that is a winner because it's going to be a process of changing the culture of the players, getting a program off the ground that has been in the toilet for a couple decades now. He's like, we're in this endless cycle of we're not good because we don't have a good coach, and we don't have a good coach because we're not good. And it's tough to break that cycle.
Well, it's a big commitment, for community and for school.
Yeah.
It's important that you have the right administration. If you don't have that support and you have to have the funding, it's tough. It takes a real commitment from everybody.
Yeah. So I've got a kid. My oldest is going to be 6th grade, and we don't have the number, so he's going to get bumped up to play junior high sports. And I'm kind of on the fence about this because I didn't play until my 7th grade year. When is the year that you see the junior high kids take that big leap? Is it between 8th and 9th, or is it like 7 to 8? I'm not expecting much out of a 6th grader.
Yeah, it just depends. Right. I mean, if they don't play, they're behind.
Right. Yep.
That's where we're at. So it kind of forces your hand.
Yes.
But it depends. It varies by the kid.
Puberty.
Really. But 6th to 7th grade is a big jump.
Yeah.
That's a big, maturity jump.
Right.
Psychological. I would say those years are really big. The 8th, 9th grade is a big jump. 9th to 10th grade is a big jump.
Yeah.
But the earlier they can play it, the better.
He's been playing tackle football and that was another thing I was kind of on the fence about. So we're in a unique position with the podcast is we get to talk to a lot of people, and we get to talk to a lot of ex-football players and baseball players, and a lot of them are like, man, we are just putting too much on kids at too young of an age. But like you said, in a small community, if you don't play, you're behind. So like you said, your hand is kind of forced into doing some of these things, but you talk to a lot of like ex-players, and they're just like, I don't know. It's a tough line to draw.
It is. I don't know if there's any wrong answer or right answer. I know what's happened to the kids nowadays is that they've started playing this club ball. I don't know really how it is here in the country now, but I know we always had time to look forward to the next sport.
Yes.
But
yes.
We've got kids that are playing club basketball, maybe club track, playing baseball, and 7-on-7 through the summertime.
Right.
How are you not worn out by the time school starts?
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
So I would be more afraid of burnout than I would, somebody who's can anticipate the next sport and, has time to actually enjoy one.
Right.
But like I said, I don't know how it is here in the country now, but I know the cities face that.
I know out here, so out here, you get that. You don't have as much specialization in one sport. Like right now, it's basically football season. You know what I mean? Like it's 7-on-7. I don't know if they do 7-on-7 here, but when I was in school, track season ended, football started. You did 7-on-7 in June. You had nothing in July. Hutch did have a very good weight off-season program. So everybody was up there in July, lifting weights, conditioning, and then August 1st is 2-a-days. So you kind of had that. Football's over, now it's basketball.
That's it.
Basketball's over, now it's baseball.
And it's amazing how each sport is a different in shape.
Yes. Right. Right.
You can be in great football shape when you get basketball, and it's like starting over.
Yeah.
It's like you've never run a 50 yards in your life.
Yeah. Well, even baseball, we did a lot of conditioning for baseball when I was in high school, and I was like, I'm in shape. Like, it's track. It's track
See,
season.
I always wondered how baseball would work in the smaller schools.
It's tough.
With track and baseball at the same time. Yeah. Now, the quarterback who won the first state championship with also played baseball, but he's a good athlete.
Right. Yeah.
So parents wonder, what do I need to do? Do they need to play both of them?
Right.
Well, it kind of depends on what his goals are.
Yeah.
If he's wanting to be good in one, you answer your own question.
Right. Yeah.
But it's tough in the smaller schools. You still, plus, what's the hardest thing to do? Get out there and work out for track every day.
Yep.
It's a lot easier to catch a baseball on second base than it is run a quarter for time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what. So we would do our track workout and then go into the locker room, because our Knox City track baseball field, they're pretty much connected. So we would do our track workout, change for baseball, and then baseball practice until 6, 7 o'clock at night.
Busy day.
Busy day. But nobody was getting in trouble.
Nope. No, there's no trouble.
When you were at Stephenville, you was the offensive coordinator at Abilene High. Your last year at Stephenville coaching, what were you there?
I coached quarterbacks and running backs.
Was the Stewart kid your quarterback at Stephenville?
That was the first kid I coached 7th grade through his senior year.
And for people that don't know who he is, his name's Brandon Stewart.
Brandon Stewart.
He went to Tennessee the same time Peyton Manning, and he kind of got screwed.
There's a picture online. If you look, Brandon Stewart, Brandon with 2 N's, Peyton Manning, Tennessee photo. It'll have all the quarterbacks.
He beat Peyton Manning out, but got screwed on that deal.
He had better stats.
He did, and then he went to A&M. Did he play in the NFL at all?
No,
never made it.
Never got picked up.
But he was arguably better than Peyton Manning was his freshman year, and the Manning name won him. Manning's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. So,
yeah.
But he kind of got screwed on the deal.
Yeah,
I was kind of surprised they both went to Tennessee.
I was too. Well, they promised Brandon, Coach Cutcliffe, who was offensive coordinator there, ended up being the Duke's head coach,
right,
and then retired.
Is it this one?
That's it. That's Brandon right in the middle.
Number 6.
That's him.
You know who the number 14 is, Andy?
No.
That's T. Martin, the one that won the national championship. Ain't that's not T. Martin?
No. Can't remember his name. Todd Helton is number 8.
It'll probably tell us.
Heath
Schuler was the other.
Heath Schuler. Yep, was number 2.
Todd Helton?
Todd Helton.
Todd's a white boy.
That's not.
I'm just trying to find the names on here.
Jerry Colquitt.
Because T. Martin would have been after this class.
They were after.
Because he ended up being the one that won the national championship at Tennessee.
Yes.
Stewart and Manning split playing time. Fans were split as well. So, I never knew that. I never knew that but the Manning name beat him out. Tough ticket to draw.
That was a big argument in the debate back then.
Colquitt was the black quarterback.
Okay. But Manning, Stewart beat him out supposedly. But the Manning name, and it turned out to be great for Tennessee.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. So the Stewart kid went to A&M, and then he just got out of football. But that was your first. That was a 5-star quarterback, wasn't he?
He was a good one. In fact, like I said, Coach Cutcliffe, the offensive coordinator, had told Brandon, "We won't get Manning if you'll sign with us." To end up getting Manning
because they thought Manning was going to go to Ole Miss, right?
Yeah, I believe that's right. They go out to UCLA Coliseum first ball game. And Todd Helton, the starter, goes down. Then Colquitt goes down. And Brandon and Peyton end up alternating series the rest of the game. And that's how they did it until I believe it was after the Alabama game, maybe 5 games into the season, and gave Manning the full-time start. But it's one thing I kept telling Brandon is you're going to have to study ball, because I knew that Manning had done that.
Yeah.
Peyton knew the X's and O's of the game. And we worked a lot with Brandon doing that, but it's a little different when you get into college ranks. And I just told him you're going to have to study. You're going to have to work harder,
right? Because
he's coming in with an advantage. And so I believe it was the Alabama game that Brandon was, when Brandon was in there, was the only time they made it past midfield. And then Manny came in and started the rest of the ball game. They ended up getting beat. But, you know, Manning was blossoming.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you can't have two quarterbacks, right? Like, if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have any.
No, not when you have parents like Archie.
Right.
In the background.
Todd Helton made the right choice to go with baseball, I think.
Yeah.
Made a lot of money.
Great football player. I mean, baseball player.
I recently saw a video of Eli, and they were asking him why he didn't go to the Chargers. He said that was all him. He said his dad was actually against it. He said, you should go where you're drafted. But he said his dad being his dad, he took the brunt of the media to get that off of Eli, just being a good dad. But he was like, my dad said I should go play for San Diego. But he said San Diego came out there. Schottenheimer was still a head coach, and he said they took me to dinner. He's like, it was dysfunctional at dinner. He's like, we went to the Marriott. Schottenheimer was pissed because he's like, we're in New Orleans. We're eating at the damn Marriott. So Schottenheimer and the GM are arguing. The owners are arguing amongst them. And Eli's like, I don't want to get thrown into this. So Eli's the one that made the decision not to go play for San Diego. Arch was just a good dad and was whatever my son wants to do.
You think the Giants would be better off with Phillip Rivers? I think Phillip Rivers is a better quarterback.
That's a good question, man.
I mean, they got rings out of Eli.
What? Yeah, because David Tyree made a hell of a catch.
And MVP.
Yeah. I think Phillip Rivers was just as good a quarterback as Eli.
See, I don't know. I can't judge like that. I mean, when you have different coaches, different scheme, different, players that you play with, it's hard to make a determination who's the best.
Well, I don't think that there's no.
They're both great.
But if Eli gets in the Hall of Fame, Rivers has got better stats.
There's no doubt.
But no Super Bowls.
No Super Bowls.
And on the biggest team to ever blow it at 17-0 in the playoffs or whatever the hell they were that year.
And right now it looks like the Super Bowl is the clicker.
Yeah, for everybody.
If you win a Super Bowl, then you're in.
For a quarterback, but no other position.
Exactly.
You can be an offensive tackle and never win a Super Bowl. It don't matter at all. But
doesn't matter.
Super Bowl. So let's. We were talking about Eli. Did you hear the story? No, Peyton. Have you ever heard the story Peyton talks about going to the playoffs in the huddle the first time? I guess it's the game against UCLA, and he goes in and he said, "I'm all rah-rah. And I'm a freshman." I guess they were true freshmen, wasn't he?
Freshman.
True freshman walks into that deal and he goes, "Okay, guys, let's go." Blah, blah, blah. And they said one of them offensive tackles, it's like a senior, said, "Shut the fuck up and just snap the ball."
Call
okay?
the play.
Call the play.
Just call the play. That's all we need from you. We don't need none of this rah-rah bullshit or something.
Well, Stewart fumbles his first snap.
Does he? Okay, well.
And being a coach, it was like I was his father.
Yeah.
I was nervous.
Yeah.
Nervous before the game. Nervous every snap he took. And I think he fumbled the first snap at Texas A&M. It's one thing that people don't realize about Brandon, but he won the only Big 12 championship that A&M has won. Or conference championship that A&M's won. Because they hadn't won the one in the SEC.
Right.
So Stewart, starting quarterback at A&M, beats Kansas State in the championship game. Championship.
That was Michael Bishop days?
I believe that's right.
Yeah, those are good teams.
Good teams.
Yeah, really good teams. That was Sproles and them. So,
were you nervous as a coach?
Some. I always, your players pick off
your emotions.
From you.
Right.
So I learned early to not show that.
Right.
Did you ever know you were going to get beat before you played in a playoff game? You just knew that you didn't have a chance?
No.
So you always thought when y'all were together, y'all were going to win. Has there been any game? What's the game that surprised you the most that y'all lost?
South Grand Prairie. We were up 13 with 4 minutes. Our free safety goes down early, and they've got two receivers. B.J. Johnson, I don't remember what the other kid was, but he was 5-star. B.J. goes to Texas and makes All-American, and they are just throwing bombs over the top. And I told Coach, I said, Sneezy and my other great receiver, Frankie Richardson, had both spent their early years in high school playing in the secondary. I said, Coach, let's put them out there.
You got nothing to lose.
We got nothing to lose. But we did. And that really bothered me.
Yeah.
You have to adjust to the situation. Just because those kids had not been practicing and not working, didn't know they didn't know how to stop somebody from getting behind them. And that was our only problem. We ended up having a fourth down and short. I could have run the clock out. So I go unbalanced and run sneezy off the tackle, and our tight end doesn't block down, and they come underneath and catch us in the backfield. 2 plays later, they're in the end zone, and then catch the other one again off the kickoff. We were sunk then. You know, momentum is a strange animal.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get it, and it's hard to turn it. But once you got it, things should go pretty good.
Yeah.
Did he not? Abilene did not win a state championship with Warren.
They did. They won it about 3 years or so after I left.
When did Waney coach there with you?
We were there 99, 2000, I think. He stayed the 2001 season.
And then he came to Knox City.
Yeah.
That was the best hire Knox City ever did.
Great hire. Couldn't have picked a better one.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, all I ever heard about was Waney. Because he's Wayne Hutchinson, but in Knox City, he's Waney. That's all I ever heard about. I never met the man.
That's how I knew him. Waney.
And so Andy's a 7th grader, and Andy's a 6th grader. 7th grade. It was your 6th grade year, after your 6th grade year.
After my 7th grade year.
Oh, he came your 8th grade year as his first year?
Coming into my 8th grade
Okay.
year.
Well, I coached the little kids in youth football, and we were good. We had a lot of talent. It wasn't because of any coaching, but we had a lot of talent.
Flag football.
No, we had tackle football,
tackle.
and we beat the shit out of everybody. I mean, we were loaded. We played 2 ways. We had 38 kids play youth football in 5th and 6th grade. And out of them 38 kids, we had 25 athletes.
Wow.
I mean, we could have went to Dallas or anywhere and played youth football with anybody. We were loaded. Had 2 Spells boys on the team. And one of them didn't even play on offense. He just played defense. That's how good we were.
Thing is, you could have had one good kid and probably won it all.
Yeah. We were loaded. I mean, loaded. And I didn't like the coach we had here. And I raised a lot of hell. And I was like, we got some kids coming up. We legitimately are good. We got a school board kind of got enough of that guy. And so it came out that Andy's 7th grade year, we're undefeated in junior high, 7th grade. And it's like, we got a new coach. And they brung Waney in. We were at the Monday track meet. I didn't know who Waney was. I knew they hired him. My brother-in-law was on school board. He called me and told me the night before. And here comes old pretty boy walking in, got his old tracksuit on, that big smile. Because Waney looks like he's a California model.
Yeah.
He comes walking in that track meet and stuff. And I told my wife, is that Waney Hutchinson over there? She goes, oh, how'd you know? I said, oh, he knew. I could tell by looking at him it was. And he come right in and he put that weight program in y'all had at Abilene High, and he expected those kids to do it. And those kids bought in.
Yeah.
And we got beat by the best team in state, or we'd won state, his 2nd or 3rd year here.
Yes.
We would have won state, and we were loaded every year. And then we got stuck in bad districts because we were the small kid on the team. But, Coach Hutch goes to Stanford, wins a couple state championships. He's a good coach.
Yeah.
But
he knows how to do it. And the thing about Wayne is he is a sponge for how to do things. Mm-hmm. He'd sit down with me, talk offense and stuff. If it was something he didn't understand, he was always trying to learn. And that's what you have to do. You have to evolve. You have to learn. I mean, when I got to Stephenville, Coach Briles was running the wishbone. That was our offense. Mm-hmm. I'd run veer drill with the quarterbacks and the running backs to get the handoffs and the pitch and all that kind of stuff. And we were still doing that at the end, although we were 5 wide, 4 wide with 1 in the backfield. And but the wishbone was the start. You got that from W.T. Stapler at Sweetwater, and they won a state championship there and had success with it. And if you could run the wishbone in West Texas and win state championships, that's saying something. Of course, Sweetwater had some folks too. They had some players. But we realized early when we got to Stephenville that we were going to have to change things up. We were going to have to try to confuse defenses.
Right.
And that was successful.
Yeah.
You get one more of their players on this side of the ball and you run on the other side.
Right. Yeah.
And play games with them in the secondary. And, it became you put the defense where you want them and then you attack them.
Right. Right. Yeah. You can't there's just a smash mouth. We're going to run it down your throat. Stop us if you can. Doesn't
You better
work.
have some boys.
Right.
You better have some boys. In 93, 94, we had some boys. I mean, we had some folks up front. Our right tackle went to Iowa. He was 6'4", 300 pounds. Our right guard went to Tech. I think he made all conference there, Curtis Lowry. and he was 6'2", 300 pounds, and they could both squat 750 pounds.
Jeez.
Today's offenses are basically the single wing souped up.
Out of the shotgun.
Yeah, everything's because
Same deal.
yeah, it's the wing, except
Same
you're taking your
deal.
wing back and you've split them out as wide receivers.
Yeah, but the blocks and stuff up front are basically the same.
You think we'll ever see wishbone football? Barry Switzer, OU, that wishbone, that was fun to watch.
See, I'm an Oklahoma fan. My dad grew up there, so I know all the Sooner stuff.
And you'd think that one day someone would bring some of that back again. But it's just,
It's too easy to defeat.
Is it too fast on defense nowadays?
That's the thing in the pros. It's too fast. They're on you like that. You can't read. I always told a quarterback, if you're not sure, you give the ball. Because if you pull it and you're not sure and you're wrong, you lose 2 yards.
Right.
So if you're not sure, well, those guys can fly. Mm-hmm. So you look in most of Big 12 and SEC defensive ends and stuff, same deal. Just difficult. When I was coaching at Permian, it was the last place I coached. We had an open week, and we drove over to Midland to watch Midland Lee, who had been really good, state championships. Up to that point, they were a little down that year, but they played this school, one of the top-rated schools in the country from California out there, and they were single wing, and I mean their splits up front were like almost foot to foot, looked like they were fixing to kick a field goal, and the offensive line, their backs, their stomachs were about that far away from the ground. I mean, they're low, right? There's only so many things you could do off that, and they're just like that every play. And those backs, now they were good. That's fast backs. Everything's right there. And all of a sudden, after doing this 20 times, they raise up, they throw the ball to the one receiver that's standing out there and score a touchdown. But from seeing so much spread offenses, it was really cool to see a smash mouth, foot to foot. And when you like that, your technique and stuff has to be on.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Every time.
Yep.
Because that's what they do.
Yeah.
If they're not good at that, it doesn't work.
Right.
They're not going to spread people out. They don't do that.
Yeah.
They're going to do what they do, and then they're going to raise up, throw to the one receiver standing out
Well,
there.
you just mentioned I went to Wichita Falls. That was our whole deal. Single wing, Joe Bob Tyler. But you said something that made me think about that. We'd go somewhere to play, and it'd be old men would come because they wanted to watch the single wing offense because they ain't seen it in 30 years. Because you don't see it no more. Nobody ever runs it off. But that's what today's spread offense is.
But there's a difference between running it and running it good.
Yeah, well, we did it good too.
You had
the difference. But everything was a technique.
Had
and
a great coach.
Yep,
knew what he was
spinners
doing.
and everything. But you don't. But it was really neat. You don't get to see it no more.
No.
But that's what the new spread reminds me of.
It is.
With the different things because you can do so much with it.
I just think with the veer and the college and pro level, your ends are so strong and so fast that I think that they can kind of play the middle ground. They don't have to commit here. They can kind of watch the read and then go from there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
But
then what are you
wing-
going to do? You're going to arc the tight
talking
end and
about
try
the
to get
veer.
your read.
Oh.
Try to get your read to go out where it's going to be an automatic give every time.
Right.
Then came the midline. So instead of the veer outside the guard, you're going to run it right up the pipe.
Right.
It's just difficult, but it is fun to watch.
The San Angelo Central used to run the wing tee.
Yeah.
And that was another deal. I mean, we're not going to try to get 70 yards. We're going to try to get 5 yards.
That's it.
We're going to 5 yard you to death all down the football field.
it.
And if we don't get a penalty, then we're going to be tough to beat.
You can't stop it, and you're not going to get the ball back.
Yeah, and they're going to eat up that clock.
That's it. Permian, that's their wing tee.
Yep.
That's their history.
So when you coached at Permian, which is one of the most famous pro mojo, one of the most Friday night lights, all of that stuff, you walk onto Ratliff Field at Memorial Stadium in the same football field, except we got track.
Electric.
You walk in there every time. It's got to be a crazy deal. What's the when you went as an opponent to play somewhere, what stadium was you the most in awe at as a visitor in high school?
Good question.
Brownwood?
Yeah. Sweetwater.
Sweetwater.
The bowl.
Really?
Yeah. When Sweetwater was good, they would fill that side up, and I think this stadium was built back during the Depression.
It was one of those
WPA.
Yep, it's like Hamlin's
projects.
Stadium. Yep.
Well, it would be red completely around their side, and one end is a wishbone. It would be all the way around to there, and it's solid red, and I mean it was loud. And for some reason, we put them on our schedule in Stephenville because we were not good yet, and they were really good. So the first 2 or 3 times we play them, we can't beat them. They got this kid named Norman that's a stud running back. A&M signed him, but he goes and plays pro baseball, which was the wrong move. He'd have played in the pros. He was a free safety.
Was it Josh Norman?
And a running back. No, that was that's a Permian kid. I can't believe I can't remember his name. He's one of the hardest hitters I had ever seen in my life, and we had one of the hardest hitters I've seen in my life at free safety, named Keith Graham. He was a sophomore when we got there. So they end up coming to Stephenville, and Kenneth Norman.
Yep, that was his name.
Catches the ball on the sweep and starts down our sideline, and I know the collision is about to happen right in front of me. So I back up out of the way, and Keith and him hit head on. It's like two Black Angus bulls just hit full speed. And it was an explosion. I just witnessed right in front of me, and I think there had to be sparks.
Right.
Because I saw the two of the toughest guys I'd ever witnessed in my life hit each other. But being around good players is amazing.
We were at Sweetwater yesterday, and I told my granddaughter we were coming back, and we played right at their the softball field was right by their deal. And I told Michelle and her, I said, you know what's crazy? I said, people up north do not understand. You look over in an empty football stadium, and on a Friday night, this place is bustling, and it's completely full and packed. And I said, people up north, all they do is they go by there and think, what a waste of money, spend all that money on a football stadium. They don't realize that football stadium's the heartbeat of that town.
That's it.
And that football stadium pays for itself. And they just don't get it because they fill it up every single day because they don't understand Texas high school football.
When the team wins, you go and see how the personality and get the vibe of the town that next week.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah, that was one thing I remember. Like Jeff said, my freshman year, we went deep into the playoffs, and you just feel it in town. Everywhere you went, I mean, you feel like a rock star.
Pride.
You walk into the cafe, and all the old people or old timers.
They know who you are.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a jersey on.
No, they're like, hey, how's everything going? I don't know who you are.
But people up north don't get that. Or not
don't.
even up north. You can go 2 states away. And there's certain towns have that.
Yeah.
But it's everywhere here.
See, they brought our 93, this would have been in 23, and then they brought us back the next year to celebrate the 30th anniversary for the first 2 state championships. Well, the second year, Brownwood was playing at home. I'm really excited about this because it's like the biggest rivalry you could think of in high school football. And I get there, and first of all, Stephenville Stadium is different now. Home sides on the west, where they're not looking in the sun anymore, which I always thought was crazy. We're on the sideline looking into the sun at home.
Stephenville had a Jayton Stadium. I never did understand that either.
Didn't make sense.
No.
Somebody that's not sports-minded made the stadium. So now they're on the other side, and I look over what was the home side, now the visitor side, and there's not half the stands full of Brownwood folks. I don't get that. I don't understand. I talked to Mike Copeland, who never coached anywhere else. He's defensive coordinator for us. I think greatest defensive mind around, which is unusual to stay in one place your entire career as a high school coach. Then became the head coach when Art left. I asked him, he said, it's not the same. It's not the same in Brownwood.
Brownwood's been down for a long time.
They had some great teams, I tell you. Randy Allen was the head coach there, who's now at Highland Park. He was the head coach there at Brownwood. But they had some great teams, and it was a different week.
One of their coaches called here the other day.
Really?
Craig Agnew.
Agnew's a Brownwood name.
He coached Tony, and he called the lodge not long ago and talked. I answered the phone, and then he talked to Tony for a little bit, but he was Tony's coach at Old High for a little bit. He coached for 1 year for Joe Bob, and then he went back to Brownwood where he was from. But he played for Coach Wood at Brownwood.
Had some great teams.
Oh yeah, they was a dynasty. The Breckenridge was a good team at one time. Had a good program at one time too.
Great teams. Yeah. We go 4-5-1 the first year and tie Brownwood, right? Didn't have overtime back then. The next year they come back over and there's 21 points scored and not 3 minutes to run off the clock. I actually thought, it's the only time in my career I thought that we were going to get beat by 100. So what we did, when we went over to Brownwood and tied them, we pissed them off. And they remembered it, and then they came over and did that to us.
Yeah.
But then the next year, we beat them for the first time.
Right.
What did your your Jesse, Andy's wife, her cousin was the 2023 team. He was the big star on that team.
At Stephenville?
Yeah.
Maruska?
Yeah, he was their tailback, wasn't he?
Yes.
He plays college ball, don't he?
He might have gone to track. Oh, I don't know this.
Well, he was an all-state tailback for him.
No, he plays
what
football.
year?
He plays 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
What year?
23.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah. He plays for Tarleton. Yeah. His dad is the Tarleton's team doctor. But yeah, he played in Stephenville.
What's his last name?
Maruska?
I don't know the name.
Tate Maruska was his name.
There's so many
Or
kids.
Maruski?
It's different now.
Yeah.
That
Still
town's
remember a lot of
growing like
families.
crazy.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Doesn't look the same, but they started playing in the Art Briles Stadium now.
Yep.
So it's right next to the junior high.
Well, we ate dinner there the other night. Me and Michelle did. The place is called the Saddlery or something. Woo. 10 out of 10. Good.
I know Montana's is there. That was always a good place
What is
to
it?
eat. Montana's.
No, we didn't. We've eaten there before. Two of my youngest boys went to Tarleton for a semester, and so we ate there some. But that Saddlery place is top notch.
That's
It's
a new
good.
place.
It's very, very, very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Tate Maruska, 4 years playing for Stephenville varsity, 4,000 yards in 39 games, 32 touchdowns.
Well, I saw him then.
He's playing for Tarleton now.
You know, Stephenville's, I think, the greatest bigger town to raise kids.
Yeah.
It's a bubble, actually. You know, classrooms, not any trouble. Kids, not much of trouble. Great support in the office. It was a perfect storm for creating a great program.
It's grown, but it hasn't grown real bad like Aledo and all them that have just blown up. And it's crazy how that changed too, because Stephenville kind of went away as being the big powerhouse down there, and then Aledo all of a sudden comes out of
Aledo
nowhere.
picks up, yeah.
And they've won 8 state championships now.
See, it's close enough to the Metroplex that those folks can move to Aledo and still work in Fort Worth.
Recruiting
Exactly.
people in Weatherford.
Yeah.
It's funny. I hunt Aledo people and we hunt Weatherford people.
That's right.
Aledo people think they invented football. The people from Weatherford say they've bought them all and transformed them. They're pissed off about it.
Yep.
And so there's a big, I'm assuming that used to be some kind of rivalry.
Yeah.
But Aledo is just amazing how good a program they've had.
They're making a run. And not just football.
Yeah, they're good at everything they
Their
do.
girls' athletics is good too.
Did you see where the kid that was going to go to Duncanville got denied his transfer and he's going back to Arkansas? It's quarterback. The NIL shit basically it wasn't an NIL deal, but he moved to Duncanville just to play quarterback, and they said, no, you got to go. I think he's a true freshman. He's already got offered from SEC schools, like 5 of them.
When we were reading about, or when I was reading about Brandon, it said he'd had to sit out 2 years.
He sat out 1 year when he went to A&M.
Yeah, there was something going on with A&M. It said he was faced with a 2-year penalty, and then it got down to 1. I didn't read up enough about it, but I didn't know. I always thought it was just 1 year a long time ago.
Everybody hates to have sit out 1 year, but he must have been a recruiting violation or something on him, or tampering or something.
I don't know.
That's back before they could make $1 million a year. How much money would that kid have gotten out of high school? He would have got one of those
Now?
10, 15 million. Yeah, nowadays,
Yeah, big
10
money.
million a year, 15
Big
million a
money.
year.
I know it's out of control.
Ain't that crazy? Now, see, Coach Briles is for the NIL, but he's a team deal, and he's very politically correct, and he's coaching again.
Yeah.
I think the NIL is not good for football.
No.
I don't have a problem.
Not the way it is now.
No, I think if you want to put the kids and you say every Division I kid can pay a kid $3,000, $50,000 a year, $4,000 a month. They get $1,000 a week, and they can do that. I can live with that nowadays. Before I was against it, but I can live with that. But you paying a quarterback $10 million a year, and like Oregon, that kid comes back to play football. The kid from Nebraska transfers there, thinking the kid's going to go as the second player in the draft. They got 2 quarterbacks out there making $5 million a year.
Yep.
That's crazy.
And somebody's getting screwed out of that deal. Yeah. I mean, they're making money, but they're not going to get to play.
The Raiola kid would probably be better off to go to Texas Tech now because they're going to need a quarterback.
Can't go now.
But he can't. No, he can't do. They can't do nothing with him.
What's Tech going to do?
Nothing. Play with that guy.
Play
they had
great
last year.
defense, and they're going to be just like they were last year. They're going to be a great defensive team probably again. They'll probably be in the playoffs again, but they won't be able to score points when it counts because they won't have a quarterback.
But if they were like they were last year, they'd have had the backup quarterback they had last year.
Yep.
They could have started either one of those guys. Wouldn't have mattered.
I think that kid that tore his knee up, I think he's going to be the guy.
But he won't be there till week 4 or 5, they said.
Right. Well, Jeff was saying in Vegas, the bet was that Tech would be the last college team
To lose.
undefeated.
Yep, they would be the last when the
Undefeated
playoff
team.
game started. That Tech was had the highest odds
When
to
Sorsby
be
was still
12 and
gonna be
0
there.
when the playoff started, ranked number 1 to 4. They're going to be somewhere in there because the Big 12's not as good.
Yeah.
And that's where they were going to be. And they're going to have a good football team. And they're still going to be a good football team. But when you take off a potential first-round draft pick as a quarterback out, that hurts.
Yeah, bad. But, saying somebody's going to be a bad team or be this team or that team is not like it used to be.
No.
Yeah.
You start recruiting those players that are saying, I want to leave and go somewhere else, and all of a sudden you're a top 10 team. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
If they don't put the caps on the money, if they don't change when those kids and how many times those kids can change schools, you think about that, going in and not knowing who your team's going to be. Mm-hmm. That's a disadvantage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I talked to a kid 2 days ago that graduated from OU, good friend of mine, and we was talking football. I said, well, who's OU's quarterback this year? He goes, the Mateer kid's back. I didn't even know he was back. I just assumed they would leave because OU changes quarterbacks every year anyways.
Yeah.
And he's a good quarterback.
Sometimes twice a year.
Yeah. And that Mateer kid's a good quarterback.
He's a really good quarterback.
And they're going to have a good team again, But you lose, you like you said, you don't know what you're going to get. Like Texas should be really good this year. They were that receiver they added, that Cam, whatever his name is, from Auburn, and go along with their team. They should be a really good football team this year.
So I heard somebody say online on the radio the other day that teams now have to be too deep, great, right? So defensive lineman, you roll in there, you're not giving up anything,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
That's something else the portal's done. It's made people have to get deeper in spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Alabama though. A couple of years ago, when Saban was on the roll to win everything, the kid that was his third string defensive tackle was going to be playing in the NFL.
Yeah.
Whoever he was playing wasn't that way.
Yeah.
If their certain guy got hurt, they was going to beat him.
See, that's the irony in it, though. See, it is weakened those teams that have been 3 deep.
Yes. Clemson.
Like the Georgias, the Alabamas. It's weakened them.
Yes. It's made it more. Indiana won a national championship. Nobody's seen that shit coming.
Enough said.
Yeah, that proves right there. But Alabama and Georgia both make the playoffs this year. Alabama got beat real quick by OU beat Alabama? Whoever beat Alabama beat. No, Alabama beat OU because if they lost,
Norman.
Yeah, they thought he was going to end up going to LSU.
Yeah,
and that Kiffin would have been out on his butt.
Yep.
And now Ole Miss brings back most of their team too this year.
And the key is the quarterback.
And he's coming back, and he won that injunction.
And the offensive coordinator is now the head coach.
Yeah, they're going to be Ole Miss is going to be good again.
Oh my goodness, great. Did you say you look at the West Texas? It's a little bit different subject, but look at the number of West Texas folks that are coaching in the SEC. Mm-hmm. Jeff Lebby, whose dad Mike Lebby, I coached 3 years with in Granbury. He was coach out at Andrews, coached with Art at Sweetwater. They're best friends. Passed away several years ago. Great. One of the greatest coaches, greatest men, hands down. Jeff is the head coach at Mississippi State.
And that's Art's son-in-law, right?
Art's son-in-law. Married Staley, youngest daughter. Then you've got Kendall Briles, who's offensive coordinator at South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Offensive line coach, Wichita Falls boy, went to Hershey. Randy Clements was the O-line coach at Baylor. Great. Was the O-line for Ole Miss for a little bit, and now he's also at South Carolina. Then offensive coordinator at Oklahoma is a Seminole boy. Look at the head coach at USC.
That's right.
Muleshoe.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to him,
Offensive coordinator at TCU, his brother, Muleshoe boy.
Yeah.
What's going to happen at USC? Because if he don't win this year, they're going to fire him.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win 10 games or 11 games, they're going to fire him.
Yep.
Now, USC
and they've never had it as hard as they have it now.
That's because they don't have the money everybody else has, and that's what's crazy. Everybody thinks SC just prints money.
Yeah.
But those people in California don't support like other places do. Where do you think he goes?
I think he'll coordinate offense.
What if Dallas don't make the playoffs this year, they fire him and hire him?
Working for Jerry Jones doesn't matter.
But that's what he wanted. At one time, that's what Dallas wanted.
Yep. He was rumored.
Yes.
As long as Jerry Jones owns the Cowboys, you're going to get what you got.
Yeah.
So you don't think he'd go to you? What's the kid's name at USC? The kid that was from OU?
Riley.
Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley. So I think that he's going to get fired at SCF this year. I just don't think SC's got it to be a top. The NIL portals hurt them. So he's going to leave somewhere else. But he's a good coach.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: where's the difference in being a coordinator and being a head coach? Because I would argue Cliff Kingsbury is one of the greatest offensive minds out there right now.
I worked at Brandon Stewart had a quarterback camp
Uh-huh.
at Austin after his playing days, and Cliff was one of his guys he got to work. Me and Cliff worked. Our stations were right next to each other, so I got to visit a lot with great mind.
But why can't they make that transition to head coach? Even like Mike McDaniel's great
Look where the transition was.
to Arizona. Yeah. Right. So a lot of
That's
it.
the difference.
Right.
Where they went. Where they went. Doesn't matter who goes there now.
Yeah. Like even Saban couldn't win in the pros, you know?
No. Unless you gave him time.
Right.
But you got to give him resources. And he wasn't. But I tell you, the biggest thing that hurt him there was the relationship with the quarterback. They've got a golden silver spoon quarterback.
Yeah. Right.
And it was either get rid of the coach or get rid of him.
Right.
So what are you going to do?
Talk about Collar.
Yeah, I think he's trouble.
Oh, I think Minnesota's just. Can you imagine? You got him. I think the JJ kid's going to beat him out anyways because he played really good against Cowboys when he was healthy. But Kyler Murray's 5'10".
Yeah, but he can fly.
He can, but God, there's a lot of fast. So
And he's got a cannon.
yeah, but you're not going to win. You got to. I mean, when you start the NFL season, there's teams that aren't going to be in the. Nobody right now thinks Minnesota's going to the Super Bowl. Nobody thinks Tennessee is. But you can't tell me that if you were at Tampa Bay that you don't think you got a chance to go to the Super Bowl. You do.
Yeah.
New England, Buffalo, Kansas City. There's so many franchises, but Kyler Murray has never, ever been in that deal of we can win a Super Bowl with him. He's a great fantasy quarterback.
No, but like I was telling Andy, look where he's been.
Right.
You know, to me, it's his attitude. That's a problem. If you're looking that much out for you, you're not so much worried about teammates and results and that kind of stuff. That's been a problem.
Right.
They should never got rid of Kingsbury.
Yeah.
Just like Tech should have never gotten rid of.
Leach.
Exactly.
Yeah. Locked up the wrong kid in the wrong tool shed.
That's it.
What they should have done was hired Coach Briles before Baylor did. That was the dumbest move they ever did make.
That's what I was hoping.
That was stupid of them. That was really dumb. And then after he left, there was someone else I thought they should have hired. Oh, Jeff Traylor, the guy that went to UT San Antonio. I thought they should have given him the job. When they hired the guy they got now, I've talked about it on the podcast, as they hired him, I said, that's a good hire because they said he's like Coach Briles because other coaches, high school coaches, respect him.
Yeah.
Problem is now you don't recruit like you used to.
No, it's different.
I mean, kids ain't you're not going down and having dinner with the kid's mom and eating like you used to. You might do that, but that's after you've made the financial discussions they're doing.
I would say that's true until you have somebody like Coach Briles. I mean, he's electric. You want to hang out with him. You want to play golf with him. You know, kids love him. Absolutely love him.
But his money deal's going to come a factor, though, with this, don't it?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to win there and he's going to move on.
But I'm talking about when you go to recruit a kid now.
Oh, you're talking about money for Eastern?
Yeah, for the kid to play.
Yeah.
When you go, I mean, it's a great guy. You like him. Like, hey, I really like Coach Briles. I want my kid to play for him. And says, well, Texas just said they'll give you $2.5 million, and they're only going to give you $750,000. Boy, I tell you what, you look good in that burnt orange, son.
Yeah, he won't be there long term.
No. But I'm talking about just recruiting in general, though.
Yeah.
The money thing's
Oh, you're talking about getting the kids in.
Yeah, it's got to be such a money thing that, and I bet these coaches hate that. They're having to deal with the agent.
I'll tell you one thing that Art does, and you've noticed throughout all his teams, is he makes good quarterbacks. If you have a good quarterback, you got a chance to win.
Yes.
Right.
And that quarterback doesn't have to be the best athlete. It helps.
Yeah.
What most people don't know about RG3 at the time, he had one of the fastest high hurdle times in the world coming out of Coppers Cove High School.
Still state record. I saw it a minute ago because I was looking up track
Why
stuff.
would you let somebody like that, I'm talking about the Redskins at the time, sit in the pocket and get hit?
Right. Yeah.
I'm a Redskin fan. It's just.
But it took them several years before they decided that
Let him run.
Yeah.
we need to try this college ball a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I hope they don't screw up Jaden Daniels.
He's a stud.
He is. These quarterbacks that run, though, it scares me because I watch Josh Allen running the ball. I'm sure he'll get hurt this year. Hope not. I like him a lot, but he's a big guy.
It just helps that he's 6'5",
Yeah.
280.
Yeah. But when you've got a guy that's like Kyler Murray,
Yeah.
as quick as he is and stuff, somebody's going to put
They
it
got to
on.
learn to get down.
Yeah.
What was the earliest you had a kid get recruited from a major college?
Cody Ledbetter was probably the first really good quarterback I had. He went to New Mexico State.
What year? Like when did he start getting
That
offers?
was a semifinal year. We go to the semifinals, get beat by the state champion Wilmer Hutchins.
How old was he when he started getting offers? That's what I'm getting at. Like, what's the earliest?
I don't know.
Because back,
a lot of that is determined by the success you have as a team.
Right.
So the further you go, the more coaches there'll be there to
Yeah.
see him. I don't know when he was getting looks or who all even contacted him. But it was probably senior year.
Senior year.
Yeah.
Because like now, I think everybody's trying to find that next big thing. I think a lot of offers are starting to come in like sophomore, junior year.
Early.
Just because they don't want to miss
early.
out.
Didn't Brandon Stewart get recruited probably his sophomore year? Probably.
I don't remember that. I don't know when they started talking to him heavy. But the big dogs showed up whenever it came time.
I saw where Des Bryant's son, I guess, he's going to play at South Lake Carroll maybe. And I think he's getting recruited pretty heavy, and he's a sophomore maybe. I think he's already gotten like so many Division I offers or something already.
If he's anything like Daddy, he's a stud.
Is that hard to like manage your player, like whenever the offers start coming in? And I'm just talking about like even back then, I can't imagine what it would be like trying to keep a high school kid's head level when they start seeing some of the figures that are getting thrown at them. But like even back then, like, hey, coach from Texas is here to talk to you. Like, how does that not just blow up a 17-year-old's head?
Yeah, I mean, you just have to have some mature kids.
Right.
You know, and like the quarterback, we spend so much time with them, just during the season.
Right.
Which is a marathon. If you go to the state championship game,
Yeah.
They're just an extension of you, really.
Yeah.
And of course, you're trying to find a mature kid to play that position anyway. Now the money deal, that's a different situation.
Yeah, that's a different situation.
I don't know how that.
One coach was talking about he has to go through a general manager now. I mean, he's not recruiting kids he wants. It's the general manager's like, hey, we can get this quarterback, 3-star kid out of Arkansas for $1.7 million.
Just like the NFL.
Yeah, and he said, that works into our budget better than going the kid that you want that's from Hawaii that's, going to cost us $2.6 million. And coach is like, well, am I doing the recruiting for me to coach, or are we doing it as a business transaction? And that's what they've gotten into. And that's
I just think that the longer that if there are no caps on the amount of money that kids get, sooner or later you're going to get those overloaded teams.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know how that could not happen because they've got all the money.
Right. Yeah.
Right now it's still spread out. Kids are still moving and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They need to limit the move to 2 moves.
That's what I was
and
going
then
to say.
put a cap on the money.
You said that earlier, and I really like that. If you limit the amount of times you can transfer, I think a lot of your problems are going to handle themselves.
Then not letting coaches take another job till after the national championship game.
Yeah.
All that stuff happened with
Kiffin.
Lane. That's stupid. Mm-hmm. That was avoidable.
They've got to change the time on the transfer portal too.
That's it.
You can't have transfer portal going and we're still playing football.
No.
I mean, it's killing there.
Or lose a coach.
Yeah.
And then the school tell the coach, you can't coach those kids you've been coaching for 3 years or however long he's been there. I mean, I understand why, but, you're trying to win it?
Right.
Then don't change it.
Yeah.
It's not fair for Nebraska or Arkansas to play against Ohio State or Texas financially. I'm not saying they won't have some good teams, but year in and year out, those teams that's got $100 million to spend. It's like the Major League Baseball. The Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays should not be playing in the same league.
No.
I mean, one of them's got a $300 million payroll, and the other one's got $60 million. And the answer is, we'll just fine them a tax.
Right.
Well, who cares? They're three.
What is it, leisure tax?
Yeah, or whatever it is. Can you imagine Jerry Jones with the unlimited budget? I'm not a Cowboy fan, but Jerry Jones would spend $1 billion a year to win.
No, he wouldn't
Super Bowl.
now. 30 years ago he would have, but he won't now. You don't win 3 and then go 30 years and not win but one playoff game. You know what that is? We're going to be just good enough we can fill the stands up.
Yeah.
There's no team in the NFL that's as popular as them around the world. Mm-hmm. He knows that. So my deal with him is, when is enough money enough money?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Free agency opens up. He's not going to be involved in it.
Mm-mm.
But he spends his budget every year.
He spends it. Their contracts, they've screwed up forever.
Right.
Oh, they always do because they try to wait till the last minute to get a deal, and it cost them.
Exactly.
Every time. I mean, Dak Prescott, they spent so much more money on him, they'd been better off giving him a 5-year contract.
From the get-go.
And C.D. Lamb, they did the same thing. I'm not a Cowboys fan. Everybody that listens to this knows this, but I'm a very open-minded about stuff, and I like a lot. I think Dak Prescott is one of the best guys in the NFL, and I think he's a great quarterback. George Pickens was a cancer at Pittsburgh. He played great last year, but they don't want to give him a long-term deal because they're afraid he's going to come out and that cancer was at Pittsburgh's going to come out again. Yeah. So you either get his shit and get off the pot. If he's not the guy, then trade him and get you a young receiver that might be able to fill that void.
Yeah. See, I'd not watched Pittsburgh a whole lot, so I didn't know much about him until he got in with the Cowboys. He's on a different level.
Yeah, he's a stud.
He's a bona fide.
He'll go get it when others can't.
Yep.
And then outrun them.
Yeah.
And when he changes gears, he's in the end zone.
Yeah.
But what's the problem with him then?
Attitude.
That's right. And so they either going to pay him. They're paying him $30 million a year this year for one more year, and then if he's really good, they're going to re-sign him. Well, they screwed this whole thing up.
The key is making sure he gets the ball and keeping him happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's not a team deal.
What do you think the Cowboys are going to do this year? Before the season, right now,
They'll be mediocre.
that's just typical Dallas: 10-7, 9-8, 8-9.
They'll split with Philadelphia. They'll probably split with the Giants. Might get beat both times by Washington.
As a ex-coach, we talked about this earlier. I don't think safety is the position you build your team around.
No.
And to put all that capital on a safety who's a really good football player, and you've got all kinds of holes on defense.
Yeah.
I think Dallas would be better off to have went and got somebody that can put pressure on the quarterback.
See, you mentioned Prescott earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sold. I'm not sold on him yet.
Well, he didn't win when it counts.
Well, I saw him. I can't remember who the game was against, but it was a conference foe. And they're on about the 8-yard line, and he goes around the right end and just steps out of bounds at about the 2.
Mm-hmm. Lower your shoulder.
Yeah, but don't run out of bounds.
Yeah.
He stuck his foot out of bounds. That was so weird to me. And y'all didn't even remember the play, right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, that stuck with me. There's nobody in front of him except right along that goal line, and he steps out of bounds.
Right. Yeah.
Plus, up to that point, he hadn't done a whole lot. But he had a pretty good year this last year. But when he thrown the ball to Pickens,
yeah, or CD Lamb,
or CD Lamb, get it close.
The Cowboys are famous for beating the piss out of teams that are worse than them, and then a team that's good, they have trouble.
Beat by them, by bad.
But they're empty calories on stats. They get Dak will have 5 games in a row where he goes way over what he does, and then when it counts, they disappear.
Well, their offense will be the best offense in all of NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They're very good offensively.
Now, don't win the right games. Then you get rid of the animal they got rid of to Green Bay. Now what?
Right. What are you going to replace him with?
Yep.
Generational
the
talent.
Cincinnati.
Because that guy right there, let me tell you something. That guy's a difference.
Yeah,
he's got a whole side of the ball wrapped up.
Yeah.
You think that's why? I think that's why Diggs was
Parsons.
so good. Is this?
Yeah,
No. But I'm talking about Diggs. That's why he was such a good defensive back. How them interceptions. Parsons put so much pressure on the quarterback they had to throw fast.
Yeah.
The guys without Parsons last year,
Got to stay on them longer.
and the guys could get at separation. And then they go sign a safety who is a stud safety supposedly, but I just can't build a whole defense around a safety.
Yeah.
That's the last guy, the last resort.
Do you know when Parsons was playing, when he was with the Cowboys, there would be games where an offense playing against him would do nothing all night. I mean, not pick up a first down. You don't see that in the NFL.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, there were certain games that just didn't make sense to me. I mean, it's not like they're on all-stars on another team.
Right.
And yet this defense that's not going to win one playoff game has stopped you from making a first down. Doesn't make any sense, but they need to get rid of the owner.
He was a lot like Lawrence Taylor. Well, that'll never happen. And then you're going to get the second version of the owner too.
I'm hoping he's doing stuff different because he wanted to do stuff different, but his dad wouldn't let him.
But you know, his ex-players love him. Like Michael Irvin, he loves Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Des Bryant loves Jerry Jones because he's always involved them outside. Jerry gets too close to certain players.
Yeah. When you go to the game, you'll see him sitting up in his box.
Mm-hmm.
They're all there.
Jerry's ride or die for his players. I was listening to Michael Irvin talking about the White House back in the 90s, and Jerry called him in like, hey, what's this White House? He's like, well, if you look right across that practice field, there's a big White House, and Jerry's like, why are you doing this? He's like, Jerry, I'm going to be honest with you. I was trying to do the wrong thing the right way. Jerry laughed and
That was a party house close to practice.
yeah. He like, Mr. Jones, I was trying to do the wrong thing the right way. Jerry's like, can't argue with that.
And the thing is, all those old Cowboys are still in Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm at the I lived in Dallas for 5 years, close to downtown. I'm in a pet store and run into Charlie Waters. Mm-hmm. Nobody else in that place knew who Charlie Waters was.
Right.
I looked at him and said, Charlie Waters. He's got an Irish setter with him. And I asked him, I said, what are you doing? He said, well, me and Cliff Harris are in the natural gas business together. I ran into Charles Haley twice at the mall. Ran into Herschel Walker twice at my Target.
That's crazy.
Aikman, ran into him 3 different times. He lives across the alley from Jerry Jones, lives right behind Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
In Highland Park. Neat running into those folks.
Yeah. Yeah, and they all stay.
All stay.
I mean, they're all of his ex-players. But he's in their camp all the way. It's just, I think a lot of times he gets too emotionally attached and he doesn't cut bait when he needs to.
I think he thinks he's at a different level than everybody else.
Smarter than everybody else.
Yeah, I can turn this coach into.
Right.
I mean, look what he did with Switzer.
Right.
Switzer comes in, wins a Super Bowl. I think he thinks he can do things other people can't and be successful with it.
He always tries to bargain shop, is what's crazy to me, because he's got this money and we're going to step up, and he's going to hit on one every once in a while.
Yeah.
But he's always trying to get the guy that's an ex first round draft pick that's been cut by 3 teams, but we're going to
turn him around.
Yeah. Well, there's a reason why he's been cut by everybody.
The one that's been arrested.
Yeah.
This is one nobody's going to take a chance on.
Yeah.
And we're going to turn him around.
But you look at their sign up, that Rashawn Gary at Green Bay. Now, he's never been in trouble or nothing, but he had a couple of good years at Green Bay. They gave him a big contract. Well, why does Green Bay get rid of him for a 6th round draft pick?
Exactly.
And they're like, what's a money thing? Well, you're going to pay him the money that they don't want to pay him for a reason. Green Bay's not going to give up a player that's going to make a difference.
No. And the thing is, they gave Parsons up to a team that they're going to meet in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, if they make the playoffs.
If they make the playoffs. Jerry made the statement, I'm all in. Remember that?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
I'll tell you who's all in. Philadelphia.
Every year.
Kansas City.
Yep.
I'll show you teams that are all in. Cowboys are not all in.
Right.
Jerry Jones is not all in.
Yeah.
They're going to have a mediocre team, might lose a little better than that, might win their 2nd playoff game in 30 years, but they're not all in.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dallas is going to be really good on the interior of their defensive line. That Williams kid they signed from the Jets is a stud. Keenan Williams or whatever.
Keenan Williams.
He's
Quinton.
Quinton. He's very good.
Alabama.
But they don't have no outside.
No.
And in the NFL today, you got to be able to get pressure on from the outside.
Yeah. Well, they
Same
got rid of DeMarcus Lawrence, and they lost Parsons.
And
That's both their edge rushers.
Yeah, and Lawrence won a Super Bowl at Seattle and was pretty good.
Really good.
Cincinnati Bengals are another team like Dallas. And Joe Burrow made a really good point. They traded, they didn't sign the white boy, Trey Hendrickson. Yep. And then they went and got Dexter Lawrence. And Joe Burrow said, why would we trade our 10th round draft, our number 10 pick, for an inside guy, Dexter Lawrence, and then we let our outside guy go that we could have just re-signed, and we're going to give Dexter Lawrence a raise? Why didn't we just sign Trey Hendrickson and then use that 10th pick, go out and sign somebody else in free agency, and then use that 10th pick to get something that could help us?
Yep.
And that Ohio State guys were right there that they could have gotten. He goes, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Doesn't.
So Joe Burrow is obviously with some outs with the Cincinnati front deal. Can you imagine someone trading for Joe Burrow? It would take a lot to get him. But you take a team that's a quarterback away, like Minnesota. If I was Minnesota, I'd give him 2 first-round draft picks or 3 first-round draft picks for Joe Burrow.
Who would you pick ahead of him?
Of Joe Burrow? Josh Allen, maybe? Maybe.
I wouldn't.
But that's a maybe.
I'd take Burrow in a heartbeat.
Oh, I think he's one of the top 5 quarterbacks, talent-wise, no doubt. But Minnesota needs a quarterback. Why not just give 3 first-round picks for Cincinnati and ship Kyler Murray to him and J.J. McCarthy? Because you put Joe Burrow with Justin Jefferson in that team, and automatically they're a legit team.
Big time.
I mean,
now.
Yeah. Carolina. I think Carolina's a quarterback away from really being a legit contender. They have a really good nucleus of players there. Another team. Who are you going to draft the first 3 rounds? Go get, if you want to be a quarterback, Baltimore I'm not so sure Lamar Jackson's ever going to win nothing that counts.
Hadn't showed it.
No. And so there's some teams out there that Joe Burrow, because Cincinnati's not going to do nothing.
Makes you an automatic contender right now.
Arizona with Joe Burrow.
If I was Joe, I wouldn't go.
No. Don't send me to Carolina, please.
They might want him, but I wouldn't go.
What's wrong with Carolina? They made the playoffs last year.
Carolina's a place.
They got a great running game. They play great defense.
They got rid of Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, that's going to make a big difference. That's like
He was
Caleb
our running
Downs.
back. He was our running back.
The running backs are a dime a dozen.
Chubba Hubbard. That's who you're gonna.
You're not going to lose much. Running backs are cheap.
Yep.
You just
They're not making a lot of money
No,
these days.
there's some running backs make a difference, but most average running back don't. Kenneth Walker's going to go to the Chiefs, and Kenneth Walker's going to do the same thing Isaiah Pacheco did, because Chiefs does not have a very good offensive line no more.
No,
and that's going to kill them.
That's what killed them last year.
But you take Joe Burrow and you go to Carolina and you put their team together, and they're a really good playoff team. They made the playoffs last year. They're good. I'll tell you what,
division.
I'll tell you a team that would win the Super Bowl with Joe Burrow is the Houston Texans.
So you're taking. Hold on.
You're right.
You're taking Carolina this year to win the South.
No, I wouldn't be surprised they did.
Over Tampa Bay.
They did last year.
Tampa Bay was down.
Well, what made them get up?
Everything.
I mean, I don't understand.
Are you a Tampa fan?
No,
Devil's advocate.
I don't have a team that I really pull for. I like to pull for a bunch of teams. Fantasy football's ruined me. I like Aaron Rodgers, so I'll root for the Steelers. I like Josh Allen. I'll go for the Bills. So I got like games I watch.
Are there teams? Are there conferences you don't like to watch?
The NFC
Fantasy
South.
football keeps everything.
No,
relevant.
the NFC South. I don't
like
care
watching the South.
Anybody.
Anybody.
No, yeah, I'm with you. I had
Nobody. I don't know why it is. I don't like
either.
watching any of them.
Well, I'm not a Tampa fan. Atlanta, Carolina, or what's the other team?
Saints.
New Orleans. Yeah,
I don't like watching them.
No, I had Drake London on my team, and I couldn't make myself watch it.
What about? I'll tell you another team that's an automatic Super Bowl team with Joe Burrow, and you might be able to get this done. Is if Joe Burrow and the Green Bay Packers went together and you sent Jordan Love back in a couple first-round picks, you'd be better off with Joe Burrow at Green Bay.
Well, of course, yeah.
I buy it.
But I really believe Joe Burrow going to...
Jordan Love's a lot better than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
The Texans, though, are a quarterback away from being the Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
They are. Because C.J. Stroud's the only reason they didn't go maybe this year.
Yeah. But in quarterback years in the NFL, this guy's still a baby.
Burrow? Yeah.
No, Stroud.
Yeah, but he don't have it.
He's a baby. I'm not going to give up on him that fast.
I would for Joe Burrow.
In a
I'll tell you what's going to be another interesting thing we're going to deal with for football this year is that, and we're going to have to listen to Dion whine about this, Deshaun Watson is going to be the Cleveland Browns starting quarterback this year. You watch.
That is a mystery to me.
That's what's going to happen.
That is a mystery to me why he's not excelling.
Deshaun Watson?
Yep.
He's got all that shit behind him now, and he might. He's got a lot of skills. They say he looks really good. He said 2 years, but he's got the skill set. Shador does not.
I don't know if he needs to go to a therapist and not a massage therapist. We're just talking about a mental.
If they castrated him, lights out.
He could.
Just keep going to the massage therapist.
He's a stud.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe the best quarterback in football for a couple of years.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
I mean, what's happened to him?
Too many tuggies.
They banned him from going. Same thing happened to Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was great whenever he was just doing this whole thing in the
back and wins
debauchery.
the Masters.
Yeah, and then
But he's old.
Then you put him on the straight and narrow, and like they need that outlet. I think
Deshaun Watson is not old.
No, he's not.
But that's the thing about quarterbacks. I mean,
How old is
used to
Deshaun
when you
Watson?
came to the NFL, you were a quarterback. There is no way you're going to step foot on the field unless that starter gets hurt for about 3 or 4 years.
Yes, that's right.
They're starting right now.
Yep. But the problem is not very many of them are very. There's some that have been pretty good, but they fall off.
Oh, wow.
C.J. Stroud is one of them.
Deshaun's only 30.
Yeah.
Wow,
He was
He's a
17
baby.
years old when he come out or something.
that's crazy.
But he's going to be the Browns starting quarterback, and Dion's going to be bitching and raising hell and all the Dion's cronies. Shador last year with the Browns was not good.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
He's
already,
not good.
It's already saying right here, Monken and Deshaun Watson hit it off in early meetings, so they're already.
If you're that coach and you come
laying
in there
the
and you got
foundation.
Deshaun Watson there, and
He
you're
could
like,
hit it off with me, too.
Yeah.
If I was OC.
you'd be like, what's it going to take for us to get to the Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson? Because you're the best we got in the room.
Yeah.
We got some other guys here, but we want to win.
And there's no question.
Yeah.
It's not close.
No. No.
You may have a lot of people in that room, but that's your only quarterback.
Yep.
Right.
Well, they got Dylan Gabriel. Is he there, or was it the other
Yeah,
guy?
Yeah, he's there.
He's there.
Yeah, he's not any good.
Sanders.
And
Shador.
Shador is not any good. So that's what's going to happen. And if Deshaun is not the guy this year, they are going to be in the Arch Manning. Them other 4 quarterbacks are coming out this year's deal.
Well, my thinking, if Deshaun Watson is not the man, then they've either got problems up front or outside or with the coordinator.
Right.
I mean, if everything's good with him mentally.
Right.
Because
There's no
physically, there's no
reason.
reason why he shouldn't be excelling.
Did you ever have a kid that you coached that just fell through the cracks and never ever got there, that would have been a star, you thought?
A star where I coached or a star afterwards?
No, star where you coached at, that just could not get his shit together.
Or both.
Or
just
both,
just
yeah.
a kid that you saw, like, listen, if you can just hone
Yeah,
this.
we talked about him earlier.
Really? I mean, you don't have to name names, obviously,
No.
but there have been times where it's like, if you could just fucking focus for 2 years,
Him.
I can get you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Sad,
frustrating.
man. Sad.
Because it's generational money. If you can just stay on the straight and narrow for 3 years,
I
and just get your foot in the door.
I couldn't figure it out.
Really?
I couldn't figure out how to fix it.
Just no motive, like tried everything to
I know
motivate them.
ignoring it didn't help, which
Right.
is what somebody else suggested. We needed to deal with it in a different way. I wasn't sure what that way was, but the way we were doing it was not helping.
Right.
But that's tough, man. If you and that's the Murray deal. It's the Murray effect.
Yeah.
You get somebody on the team that's more about him than he is the team, you got problems.
Right. And what's bad is a lot of those kids are like any sort of like punishment, for lack of a better word, that you give them. A lot of them have the attitude, well, fuck it. I just won't show up.
Yeah.
I just won't play. So how?
See, in Alabama with Saban, he didn't care.
Right.
He didn't care. Well, I got 2 others going to replace you.
3 deep.
Right. But, I mean, at Granbury, Texas, that's a different deal. If you try to keep your job, and yet you have to keep your stuff with your team. You can't lose it for one person.
Right. Right. It's tricky.
Right?
Yeah.
Man,
You
I'm
can't
telling
show
you it is.
favoritism for him whenever you're going to bust your second guard for doing some of the
if
same
this guy's
stuff.
right, he's going to make a difference.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not questioning it. He'll make a difference.
Yeah.
But the if's a big if.
That Saban effect's true, though, because, like, he had Alvin Kamara. You look at the NFL's full of teams, guys that went to Saban's, and he's like, you know what?
They're all studs.
You're a third-string running back here. You're great, but we ain't got room for you right now. And you go down the road, and then they're in the NFL somewhere.
And still playing.
Yeah, because I did not realize the Downs kid at Ohio State, the kid the Cowboys took, they traded the whole for the 10th kid. That kid went to Alabama. And when Saban left, he went to Ohio State, and I did not realize that.
That's the thing. And those teams know if they get an Alabama kid under Saban, that's a prize.
Yeah, because
Right.
he hasn't been babied.
Nope.
Yeah.
You know, you might have been a star, but you ain't getting babied there, because
Nope.
if you piss off Saban, you're going to put the next guy in, and he's going to
Yeah.
win with or without you.
And that guy's going to make it to NFL too.
Yeah. How do you like get kids to buy into a program in high school? And I thought about this with Hutch. Like Jeff was talking about, 7th grade year, we transitioned from one coach to the next, but like Hutch walked in and there was just something about him that everybody bought in to the weight program, the conditioning program. Like, is it just in the messenger? Like the way that you present it? I can't put my finger on what it was about. For me, it was like, shit, he came from Abilene High, now he's coming to Knox City, Texas.
Yeah,
like, obviously he had a pedigree.
It's
Yeah.
all that stuff.
Right.
I mean, the kids have to know that the coach cares about them, right? And this is one thing that Coach Briles, he would never call out a kid in front of people.
Really?
If he had something to say, they'd go in the office, but he's not going to call out a kid out there. Now, us, he would call us out. Kid, he will never call a kid out. That's a big deal. Think about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about the coaches you had and through.
Yeah.
And I was guilty of it. Try
Calling
not to
them out.
make a habit of it.
Calling them out on the
Calling them
spot.
out on the spot. But, and then you get into games, you start winning, and then it starts getting easy.
That momentum thing.
Now the buy-in is worth it.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's momentum.
Yeah.
But coming in cold, that's tough. It
Yeah.
takes a lot of work.
I'm just thinking like, a program that hadn't had any winning. I just don't know. It's kind of like that team I was talking about earlier. We're bad because we don't have the culture, and we don't have the culture because we're bad. And you just get in this loop, and it's nothing but down. I don't know if we were the right group of kids whenever he came in, that we were all pretty motivated, internally motivated. Like, you didn't have to lean on us a whole lot. So you'd like just show us the way and we'll kind of do it on our own. I think that had a lot to do with it.
Huge.
When Hutch was here.
Y'all also knew y'all were winners because we had everything y'all had done in youth. And youth sports is not equate into great high school sports, but y'all had learned how to win. Even though the high school kids weren't winning, y'all were winning at everything y'all did. I mean, we were a little school and we were going to the second round of Little League. I mean, we would win the first round, then we'd go have to play Wichita Falls or Graham, and we'd get beat. Yeah. And we weren't going and getting beat 15-1 or nothing. We were competitive. Yeah. And you kids knew y'all could win. And I think that had a lot to do with it, too.
No doubt. No doubt. Well, look at this show, for instance. I mean, look what this show has done. Mm-hmm. That's a part of what you did in athletics.
True. Yeah.
Same with you. I mean, we're all a summation of the parts of us growing up.
Right. Yeah.
And we're successful at this. We were successful in that.
Right.
You know, 93, 94, when we get that thing turned around and we win 32 straight games, we had kids that were smart. Mm-hmm. They did the right thing. We knew they weren't going to get in trouble. One of the big crazy stories that was out about that time was steroid use.
Yeah.
And our opponents kept.
That was the big rumor. Stephenville was full of
huge
steroids.
Huge rumor. You know, they have a sting. The police department has a sting there. They can't get any of our kids to buy it. As a coach, we only know so much.
Yeah.
Right? Unless a kid comes and talks to you about it, or you hear from somebody, which, you know, secondhand, it's not always true. We didn't think our kids were doing it.
Nobody in town is going to come tell you, hey, coach, everybody thinks y'all are doing steroids.
Not when you're winning.
No.
Your opponents come then.
Yes.
And they did. So we win state in football, and we're also really good in powerlifting. And our Shayla Pryor, who had moved to Stephenville from Eastland, was in the 275 division, and he's a 750-pound squatter. Mm-hmm. And we have an idea that he's going to win. Well, at the state powerlifting meet, when you win, you automatically get drug tested, right? So before our trip to Houston, we call Shayla in the office. We go, Shayla, it's not us. We don't think you are, but if you are, we need to know now.
Yeah, because it's going to come out.
Because it's coming. You're going to win, and you're going to get drug tested, and that's going to be bad. So we get to Houston. Shayla wins, and me and Clem, who's now the offensive line coach at South Carolina, sitting up in the stands going, whew, it's kind of out of our hands now. So we sit up there, and Shayla comes walking out the door with a big smile on his face. And we knew our kids weren't doing it.
Yeah.
But we played the state championship game in '94 against Lamarck in the Astrodome. And up on the top deck, they've got something about steroids. There's a picture of a syringe somebody had painted on there. Mm-hmm. And the guy that rents out the Astrodome was on the field with us before the game, and Art asked the guy if he'd have it removed because it was... We weren't doing it. Mm-hmm. First of all, we were just kicking your butt.
Right.
And it was just nothing but good old milk country, farm boy toughness. But that was a big deal.
That was all over there. It was a big rumor about it.
So I'm a 38-year-old man. I do jiu-jitsu. I have thought about doing steroids. But it's like, I don't even, as a 38-year-old man, I don't even know where to go to get steroids. And then I got to inject myself. I'm trying to think of like myself as a 16-year-old. Like, where in the hell? Who am I going to go call? And this is back in the 90s. Like you don't have a laptop here where you can just buy whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just
probably if you're looking for something like that around here, he's probably going to have some close ties to the cartel.
Right. Right. So I'm just thinking like as a junior in high school, where am I going to go to buy steroids?
In the late 80s and early 90s, though, every one of those little towns had a weight shop or weightlifting place, the bodybuilder type place, and you could there was.
It was easier then.
There was a network of them because it was the ongoing. Somebody knew somebody. You could go like Wichita Falls Athletic Club. A guy there was and I'm not saying he was a steroid. I'm not saying that at all. But you could have found somebody in that place There was a big bulked up looking guy
Right.
that was on steroids. I knew some guys in Wichita Falls did it. They'd go to this bar and they would bench press the damn pool table. They'd lay on the ground and roar, and they'd do all this shit. If I wanted steroids, you could go to them guys. They could find you somebody.
Yeah.
In high
There
school? You were going to the bar in high school?
No. I was not in high school at this time. I was in college. I was 19. I had a fake ID. But if you wanted to find it, it was easier probably to find than it was to now, because there was a certain group of people that were lifting weights, that were bodybuilders
And
in
you
any
can,
town.
you can tell who's taking it.
Yes. And so
Yes.
you could find someone. So this 16-year-old kid that's a stud athlete, if he wanted to take some steroids, he could have found it probably easier than it's. You'd be just shocked how easy it was back then probably to find it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
You think that was more in college, the steroid use, and it just trickled over into high school because y'all were winning so much? Because the program came out, and that kid got on steroids and everything. That's probably early 90s.
Yep.
So everybody's like, oh, they're doing it in college. So
Yeah.
But they weren't testing at the high school level then, though, right?
No.
Yeah. So see,
No.
but that was the rumor dog in Stephenville. Everywhere you went, and then
I don't think it was until the powerlifting started getting big.
right, and then we might have to cut out. I don't know, because I'm asking you a question. The prior kid, he passed away, didn't he, at Iowa?
Yeah.
Was a drug overdose he died from or something,
I believe that was.
or a suicide or
I
something?
believe, yeah.
We might have to take.
It
I don't
was-
know, but he had passed away while he was at school, and that fueled it even more.
Yeah. He left home. His security was Stephenville.
But I remember all that happened, and when that happened, that even speculated it more.
Yeah.
And then Briles leaves and goes to college to coach, and it's all the steroids. And then Stephenville kept winning.
We never saw it. Never heard about it. Nothing.
But you're the last one to know,
Right.
and that's kind of the way it is. But that was the deal. But it's anybody that wins, though. Someone's always a reason.
They're gonna pick you
Yeah.
out, and they're gonna try to knock you down.
Like Alito, they win because they recruit.
Well, this was in '93. UIL starts an investigation against us, putting sign-up sheets in the weight room, and I know all this crap came from Brownwood.
putting sign-up sheets. What do you mean? Like,
Kids having to check in
Oh,
the weight
okay,
room,
okay.
keep
Stuff
it trying to see if your
Right.
kids are lifting or not.
right.
Which, you could also say you know who's there, so if something gets torn up, you know who to talk to about it.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
They put their name down and what time they were there, kind of a deal. But it turned into a UIL investigation, and this was a big deal. So all the district schools get together, and Coach Wood, who had been out of coaching for a long time, had some still had some pull.
Yeah.
So I heard, I don't know it first because I didn't see him or hear him say it, but we thought we might have to give back the prior state championship,
Oh, shit.
which would have hurt us that year. It was the middle of our second one.
Right.
And I remember that Tuesday, Art coming out of the school, he was always out there before the kids got there, but he was in the UIL meeting. And I could tell by the way he was jogging out there that we were good to go. That was one of the best days that I could remember.
They were going to make you give it back over steroid allegations?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't going to, whatever they did wasn't going to be good.
Right. I just don't know how you could do that, especially with no proof. Like you have no piss tests, that you have no proof that anybody pissed hot.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be hard.
See, it wouldn't have been over the steroids. It would have been over sign-up sheet.
Oh,
It would have been over recruiting.
right. Something ticky-tacky.
Yeah, how you going to prove it?
You can't beat them on the football field, so you want to beat them off the football
That's right.
field. And they were the new kid on the block, and all of a sudden they're kicking everybody's ass. Nobody likes it.
No, I know.
But that's the same. That's why I say bet Alito. All of them people are pissed off at Alito. 15, 20 years ago, nobody gave a shit about Alito.
Nope.
You can tell when somebody's on steroids, though.
No, but I'm talking about.
No,
just,
I know that,
that's
but
the
like
level.
you can look at somebody and be like, yeah, that guy's juicing.
I'll tell you what's I think's another screwed up deal with football, or not football. UIL, first of all, UIL is like the NCAA, and I'm not a big fan of the NCAA as a governing body. I think the NCAA needs to be out of the football business. Football's turned into a semi-pro league or professional league. Hell, they're making more money. Players are making more money now than they did in playing pro football in 1980.
Yeah.
These academies. I don't think it's fair for these academy guys to be playing for state championships in UIL sports.
Yeah, it's always a big question.
Yeah, I mean, you're not doing the same standards. Your kids don't have the same testing at school. And I don't think homeschool kids should be playing UIL sports.
Yeah.
If you don't go to that school, you shouldn't be able to play sports for it.
Yeah.
And you said school districts can vote on that?
Yeah, it's up to the school district.
And that's bullcrap. So
To allow them in.
yeah. So you got a 5-star quarterback that don't go to school, but just shows up for practice every day?
Yeah.
How is that fair?
Yeah.
You know, the other kids are having to take
Some
tests.
states, that's all you have.
Yeah.
Homeschool kids.
No, I'm talking about the parochial.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's where you go to school.
Yeah, in Cleveland and stuff, or not Cleveland, all the big Catholic schools.
Yep.
That's where all the kids
Louisiana.
go. Yeah.
But do they have their own league to play in?
Yes.
They do. Right. So they're not playing, but they're not playing against like a public school in district.
Isn't it St. Ignatius or whatever it is? It's in Cleveland. That's a famous school.
Yeah.
I think they play in the regular Ohio deal,
Yeah.
but it's a private school.
I think you're pretty much now playing in the regular leagues.
Right. How did you? What was your approach with like? What did you want to see as on a schedule? For like, would you want like 2 or 3 tough non-district opponents before you got into district? Kind of get kicked in the mouth a little bit, or do you want?
Depends on who your kids are.
Really?
You know, if you need some confidence,
Yeah.
you know, then you might not want to schedule.
Powerhouse.
Whatever.
Right.
You know, the
Yeah.
Patriots.
Yeah. Because it always just seemed like with us, we had one non-district game that was going to be a dogfight, and he just kind of Hutch wanted you to dig a little bit deeper for this game.
Yeah.
But we'd have 4 that were pretty easy.
That's the thing that a lot of non-sports people don't realize is that I don't care what you say to the kids, that game makes a difference.
Right.
The thing that we had to change whenever we got to Stephenville was getting the folks at Stephenville to realize that this season is not about Brownwood. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
We want to win a state championship, and it just happens that that's going to go through Brownwood.
Right.
Right? But we don't. Our season is not Brownwood.
Right.
You know, when you listen to the Michigan, Ohio State folks, that's all they talk about.
Yeah.
Is that game. They could give a flip about the rest of them until they find out they hadn't made the playoffs, and then they kind of get mad about it.
Yeah.
But if Ohio State lost to Michigan,
Yeah.
that's time to fire your coach.
Yeah. Can you imagine Ryan Day getting fired?
Makes no sense.
That's stupid. I think he's lost 5 games in
He'll
4
win
years.
99% of his games.
Yep. But we're going to fire him
And
'cause he-
lose that one.
Yep.
And then see what it's like to get a new coach in.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Harbaugh got to keep his job though for a couple of years at 7-5 because he beat Ohio State 2 years in a row.
That's a strange deal, man. Listen, that was a strange deal.
The
sign reading deal.
Sign reading.
This guy jumps on the opposing. No, he's on the Michigan sideline, but he's got shades on.
Yeah.
Which is out of place. It doesn't work for the staff. You can look that up online. You know who's coaching there. And he's picking the signs off. Mm-hmm. We had a coach that could do that from the press box.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But
We never used them.
Yeah.
I remember, and this was during Mineral Wells game, and they were pretty good. Mm-hmm. They had some good speed. Not as good as us, but they were good. And Jeff, the receivers coach, who I talked to on the phones, and then I talked to Art, Jeff said, I've got Mineral Wells offensive signs. Copeland, you want them? Nope. I don't want them. We didn't use them.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Right. Yeah.
But I think it'd have been legal for us to use them.
right.
Strangest thing that I ever went through coaching as a coordinator was we took Abilene High. This was the first year because Sneezy was my tailback. We go to Temple. Bob McQueen had been in Temple forever. Won state championships.
Legendary coach.
Legendary coach. So I called plays from the press box. I get up to the press box and I start calling plays, and all of a sudden I get static. Right? And I can't call a play. So I end up like right before halftime coming down to the sideline and calling plays from the sideline. But every time that we got on offense, I'm getting static in the phones.
You're listening in.
We go on defense,
Defense.
we can talk.
Oh, you can talk then.
We can talk then.
Huh.
That's how I could tell them I'm coming down because my phone's not working when we're on offense. So
Aren't they supposed to take the other?
if they
The other
don't work
team?
at all,
Oh, so if it's working part time, you're just screwed.
yeah,
Okay.
we're screwed for a half. So we're down like 21 points, and they're good. Mm. I mean, it's not like we roll in there and pick some slouches.
Right.
They're talented. And we're still trying to figure out who we are. It's a non-district game. We don't know how good we're going to be. And so we end up getting beat by a touchdown, I think. Made it closer, right? And I was pissed. I get it. I'm not even the head coach, but I tell them, I used it. I used us getting beat, which wasn't really fair, but they did it. I told them, I said, and this was true. I told them, I said, you guys, you saw just how little you could work this week and still win a game. Mm-hmm. And I meant it.
Yeah. Right.
You saw just how little you could get by with this week and still win on Friday night. You just found out.
Right. Yeah.
But then we're playing Permian at Shotwell in Abilene, and the Texas coaches are there. Running back coach. Can't remember who he is, but he was the head coach at Dallas Carter for a time. And he said, who'd y'all play last week? He said, Temple. He said, you know, the dangest thing. He said, when I was at Carter, we'd come down there, and every time we were on offense, we got static in our phones. They had done it.
How ironic.
They had done it for years.
Right.
I can't believe I'd never heard it.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It was a jammer.
Yeah.
Sometime.
What old Coach McQueen, what did he say about that?
Act like it didn't happen. Act like it never had happened. I just can't. The thing I can't figure out is how I didn't hear about it.
Right. Before?
Yeah.
Nobody put 2 and 2 together. You thought it was just faulty that day.
Bad luck.
After about the second or third time, I knew somebody was jamming us.
Okay.
Because I'm going from listening to Breaker 19 truckers out on the interstate.
Oh, yeah.
I-35.
Yeah.
To silence.
Yeah. Right.
I wonder if it was somebody in the stands that was a fan or something was doing it too.
Jamming them.
They were doing it during the Dallas Carter Temple game then.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder if it was but Coach, he wasn't trying to figure out where it was coming from, was he?
No.
Yeah,
Coach McQueen knew that was happening.
it never tried to ever change it at all.
No.
Well, they won a bunch of games in the 80s and stuff.
Bunch of games, man. They were talented.
I've heard of the film trading. We had a coach. He had a notebook, and he would all season long. Because back then you didn't have huddle, so you had to physically change tape. And he would keep a notebook of who he traded films with, who owed him favors, who he had to give favors to. So that was one thing. Whenever we got into district play and late into the playoffs, we'd have everybody's film from the entire season, rather than what they were going to give us, because he had that notebook and he was working the phone and he was working deals, and okay, I can meet so and so, I can meet them in Breckenridge, and I can give them this game that they're going to play. They'll give me this game, and like he had a whole network of film trading games.
You got to know it.
Yeah.
Did you ever have to go to the bus stop and take film?
No. My dad, though, he filmed, so we used to have to go pick it up in Abilene every morning.
At the bus stop.
Saturday morning, yeah.
That's back in the day. You know, the 5A schools all film, but whoever our game was over put it on a bus, and the coach would go there at Greyhound at 4:00 in the morning, and when the film from Dallas came in, whoever was playing had the film, they'd break it down that morning.
And let me tell you, if you ever crossed this coach, if you didn't uphold your end of the bargain, you were cut out of the system.
Yeah.
Like you're done.
Can't come back.
Can't come back from that, and you better give back the film. You know, there better be. But I remember him every game. He would go to the 50-yard line, shake hands, exchange film, and like, you better have the tapes, or you're getting cut out of this system.
The tapes we asked for.
Yes. Yeah.
Not just tapes. The tapes we asked for. See, that first several years we were on 60 millimeter, so we were on Saturday morning watching film or whatever. It's a different deal. You know, now they have computer programs that could put. I want to know what their defense does in third and long.
Right. Yeah.
Third and +8.
Yeah.
And that thing will break it down and show you every defensive play that they were in at that third and +8.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I remember the old clicker Hutch would have, and just rewind it, and that clicker, and I think he'd go through several a year from dropping them and throwing them and everything else. But
funny story about films. Coach John Outlaw, this guy came from Arkadelphia, Arkansas.
He went to Sherman.
He went to Sherman. I didn't care much for him. He's a great coach, but he played games, right? So I don't know, it ended up happening. Art had contacted every one of their opponents. None of the coaches liked him. So we had copies of every game they played, right? So in the press box after the game that we just played in, we met with him, or they just played, I can't remember. So they're going to flip for neutral side or home and home, and what films you're going to get. Coach Outlaw goes, I'm not going to trade films. We said, all right.
Okay.
good with us. We got all yours.
So you can do that? You can be like, I'm not giving film? Really? I didn't. I thought it was just
It's
a
courtesy.
gentleman's
See,
agreement.
we always did it.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't know you could opt out
give
of it.
them
He was going to show everybody in Texas how it's supposed to be done.
exactly. He got shown,
Yeah.
and then on the field too. That was a good because they had signs up about the steroids.
What year did he go to Sherman?
This would have been 92, 93.
Was that his first year there?
That was my first exposure to him.
Because Tony graduated in 89, and they played Sherman, was a district opponent, and Jason Burleson was there. He moved to Sherman, and Jason Burleson was the first mega 5-star quarterback kid, 6'6" or 7",
It's a big one.
big old kid. Do you remember who? You remember him? And he was everybody in the world wanted him, and he transferred. And he ended up at Sherman, and I don't remember why. But anyways, Tony sacked him in the game, and Tony had to jump up to hit him in his chest. Because this kid was a big athletic kid. Went to Texas, and they ended up moving him to tight end, I think.
Yep.
But he was a hell of an athlete. But he was a big
good
old
tight
guy
end, too.
Yeah.
So I did that with Joe McMeans. You know, in Class A, my freshman year we were Class B. So Class A, we probably have 20 guys on the team. To run into a guy like Joe McMeans from, I don't know if you remember who that is. He started probably 3 years at guard at Tech.
This is, what's his name? This is Billy Parks' brother.
Financial advisor at Stanford.
Oh, okay.
I think it's Billy Parks' brother.
I don't know.
In high school, he was probably 6'2", 260. Mm-hmm. In track, he ran the sprint relay, the 100 and the 200. And their offense was a tandem. They got 3 guys in the backfield. They got a fullback, a tailback behind him, and then a tenor back on the right side. Mm-hmm. And they would run the 2 guys, one of them being Joe McMeans, at you, and you'd have to stuff it. That was it. They had that and one pass play where they would act like Joe was going to block you and then run out in the flat and catch a pass. I can remember trailing him out. First of all, I had to hit him every play to make a block in the hole, right?
Yeah, plug the hole.
So he goes out this time, and I somehow catch up to him, and he catches the ball, and I tackle him and knock the breath out of me when we hit the ground. Knock the breath out of me. This guy was a sprinter, an offensive guard at Texas Tech, playing fullback at Jayton High School. But you don't see in Class A ball, you don't see that very often.
Yeah. A sprinter at 260.
Sprinter at 260.
Picking them up and putting them down.
Defensive tackles are a whole lot different animals than they used to be. They used to be fat guys. Now they're guys in great shape.
And they're wearing number 6.
Yeah. Before we get off of here, because we've almost been 2 hours, I wanted to ask you, the California, did you see what happened in sports out there this week? The transgender guy, gets to run track meets. Where have we come as a society that we accept this?
Nuts.
It's crazy.
It's nuts.
I wish these girls' parents, and I'm not talking about just the girls in the event that this kid in, all the girls say, we're not doing this, and just walk off. It's
my question is, where are all these women's rights folks that have fought for justly fought for Title IX and women's sports and all this? Where are those folks?
They're voting Democrat, and the only way they don't want to make nobody mad and offend anybody.
Well,
but they should offend everybody.
You give up your right to argue this if you're not going to support the girls.
Yes,
you give up your right.
I don't understand.
You're not going to let 20 million people come into our country free of charge and then gripe that you want ICE to have certain procedures while they're out there.
Yep.
You give up your right to negotiate when you do something like that.
Right.
Yep.
Where are these folks that are allowing these guys to compete with the girls?
Oh, it's crazy.
And go in the dressing room with them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. If my granddaughter was in the middle of that shit, I'd be a mad son of a bitch.
I heard a conservative guy say the other day, he said, you may not like Republicans, but the Democrats are crazy.
Yes, that's right. I saw a lady on CNN last week was talking about this redistricting. Well, it's racial gerrymandering, blah, blah. No, we're going by just the people. Everybody wants equal rights, so we're going by equal rights. First of all, hate to tell you this, I got lots of friends from all over different cultures. 13% of our population is black. So if you want a true example, then 13% of the people in Congress should be black. but it's not. We're letting people vote.
Yep.
And this guy goes, we're changing a district, and the person that's going to win this seat is a black lady, but she's a Republican.
Yeah.
So you're
That
telling
doesn't
me
count.
that you're well, this is what's funny. She goes and asks this black lady, so you're telling me a white man was better for y'all, and that's not wrong? Your black lady's going to get the seat. Well, it don't count. She's a conservative. That don't count. That's racism to have her in there.
That's pretty telling.
A black lady.
That's pretty telling, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, those representatives, those congressmen tried to go to the Black Caucus meeting. Wouldn't let them in.
Yeah. But it's just crazy that was her answer was, we would rather have a white Democrat in there than a black lady because it's racist to elect that black lady. No, it's the best person.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
I mean, that person was born with testicles.
Yeah.
And a different biological makeup.
Yeah.
Than all the rest of these girls out here.
Yeah.
I looked up I've done a little deal today. I looked at the times. The world record as Flojo, I think, Florence Joyner Griffin Jr., whatever her name was, in the 100 meters. And the world record that she had is like 10-7 maybe. The kid from Wimberley or Winsboro ran a 10:02.
Yeah.
Her world's record, he's almost a second faster than her. You can't tell me men and women are the same. Men are better athletes.
You know what the world record is for the 400 meter in women's?
What?
47.6.
What those kids run the other
Those
day?
kids in small town Texas
That's
put up a better time than the world record from 1985.
can't run them. Thing is, it doesn't make sense.
No. And for people to just bend over.
All their arguments don't make sense, but what they do have is a media that is going to cow down to them.
Well, the media is going to cost California the governorship and the House this year that they had a chance to win because of things just like this.
Yeah.
Because average person,
pray to God.
the average Democrat is like, I'm not voting. They're so far left now on this stuff. But I looked at the deal. It's hard to believe the difference between a man and a woman's deal. Megan Rapinoe, or whatever, the lady soccer player, she says that we ought to let transgenders play women's sports. We should have a problem with it. Lady, you wouldn't have had a place on the women's soccer team if that would have happened because y'all got beat by the 15 and under Texas team in Dallas.
That's it.
They beat you handily.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, it's just different, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know,
Thing is, it's called blowing up from the inside. Just blow it up.
That's right. I don't know who won state in basketball, but I think Duncanville maybe won. But let's just say they didn't. Duncanville's high school team this year could beat the best WNBA team.
Every time.
Yep. And beat their brakes off of them. It wouldn't even be close.
Every time.
Yep. And you could take a 6 foot and under team that wins the Dallas 6 foot and under, and they would beat the WNBA with their 6'4" and 6'5" girls. The 6 foot men would kill them girls.
Every time.
Yep. And that's how we're going to end this show.
Okay.
Coach, I want to have you on again when we get into football season. I've enjoyed the football talk.
I look forward to it.
Oh,
I appreciate you guys letting a nobody like me on it. Y'all have some real stars on here.
Well,
You're
as good
very
a star as
accomplished.
everybody else is. I promise you.
You're very accomplished.
I appreciate the invitation.
How's living back in rural Texas?
Love it.
Is your wife getting acclimated to it?
Getting there.
Getting there.
Just pray we don't have a mice issue this year.
I grew up in a big city. When I first moved to Knox City the first time, it was an acclimation, and I was a country boy still. My biggest acclimation was going to town at night, and there's nothing open or nothing. I'm like, where are the people? These people buy groceries after 6 at night?
When are they going to show up?
Get you an Alsace burrito.
Yeah. World famous.
But you can't get the green chili when in rural right now.
No, you can't.
Because yesterday, a guy,
that was the biggest thing in my life, my sophomore year, when rural got an Alsace.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah. Big deal.
and burritos are good.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I could ride my bike 2 blocks and get couple of those burritos, man. I'm set.
They're open all day.
We were at softball this weekend, and a guy said something about green chili, and Michelle's like, "Ooh, they got the green chili hatch." I don't like drinking chili, so I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Ooh, now if you'd be a really good husband if you'd stop." So we stopped at Rural on the way, and I got gas, and I went inside, and he goes, "We're out. We won't have any until Friday." So I stopped at Knox City, and they had some, and Michelle said, "Well, they're hot, but they sure are good." I like the regular burritos.
I like the regular ones.
I do too. Coach, thank you for being on here. Appreciate y'all for listening to us. God bless y'all. Have a great, wonderful week. Peace. Bye.
Bye, everybody.